3, 2.
Coming up on RMU Live, is Pittsburgh's loss affecting your Monday? Eddie Sheehy has the results. RMU students get a trip around the world. We have a first-hand look at Saudi Arabian culture. In the country watched, a baseball legend lace up his cleats one last time. Next. Good afternoon and welcome back to RMU Live for Monday, September 29th, 2014. I'm Hannah Smith.
And I'm Victoria Lomax. Here's what's happening now.
An update to a breaking news from downtown this morning just came in. Bomb investigators were called to Langley City School after a bomb threat was reported just a few hours ago. The call came in at 9:34 a.m. Pittsburgh Langley K-8 just lifted the lockdown after officials cleared the scene.
We are also following breaking news this morning from Afghanistan, as Fox News is reporting that Afghanistan just signed a security deal to allow American troops to stay until the end of the year. The announcement followed Ashraf Ghani Ahmadzei's swearing in Monday as Afghanistan's new president. We'll keep you updated as the story develops.
RMU hosted the university's biannual town meeting this past Tuesday and Thursday, where facts about the school's enrollment, growth, and changes were announced. The freshman class has a 73% increase from last year and a drop in international enrollment. The merit scholarship budget increased to 42.9%, which is a 2% increase from last year. Updates to the 5-year strategic plan were also given. For a full look at the analytics presented at the meeting, visit rmucenturymedia.com.
On Thursday, the first installment of RMU's Diversity Speaker Series kicked off in the Sewell Center. Cindy Fernandez, host and founder of La Rumba radio show, spoke to students and faculty about how life is better with Cezanne. Fernandez, who is originally from the Dominican Republic, shared the challenges she faced in her life from moving to America to adapting to college. The event was sponsored by the Office of Multicultural Student Services, RMU Radio, and the Radio Club. Be sure to check out rmucenturymedia.com for Colonial news, sports, lifestyles, and tips for everyday living. rmucenturymedia.com.
A man was injured early this morning when a bar fight broke out at Casey's Bar located in the South Side on East Carson Street. Police said the 28-year-old man was involved in a fight with 6 men in a group known as the Pagans. The man was taken to UPMC Mercy and is in fair condition. The group had dispersed before police had arrived.
3 arrests were made Sunday evening following a police chase on the North Side. Darnell Tyler of North Side, Ricky Trapp of Penn Hills, and 43-year-old Herminio Colin were all reported to police Sunday evening for driving recklessly. The police chase began at the intersection of Island Avenue and Brighton Road. One man crashed into a tree and car on the 1800 block of Brighton Road. Another man was stopped at the 200 block of East Jefferson Street, and the third was caught at a dead end. All 3 men were charged with multiple vehicle code violations, reckless endangerment, and fleeing and eluding.
For all you Pittsburgh Steelers fans that suffered a hard loss yesterday, Eddie Sheehy asked if it makes your Mondays even rougher.
Yesterday was not the proudest moment in Steelers history, as many of us fans know. It came down to the last 12 seconds in their game against Tampa Bay, and they ended up losing after having a pretty nice lead in the beginning of the game. It definitely hurt all of us immediately after the game, but what we were wondering here at RMU TV is, does a bad game on Sunday make for a tougher Monday morning?
Oh, absolutely. This morning I was depressed.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was an upsetting day.
Like as the Steelers game, I felt a little sad after they, it's the last minute and oh no.
And it's not just Steelers fans that experience this phenomenon. Studies have shown that sports fans have both a psychological and physiological response to what's happening to their team during and after a game. The clues to what's happening to people because of this can be traced back to the fight or flight survival response. Raised levels of adrenaline caused by the response increase levels of aggression, agitation, and nervousness in the body, and can affect you for hours after a game is ended, even into the next morning.
Personally, me, yeah, if I'm really into what's happening, yeah.
you win a game, a tough game, you feel better about it.
While yesterday's loss does seem to have negatively affected the emotions of people on RMU's campus right now, everyone does seem very hopeful that next week, when the Steelers play the Jaguars on Sunday, October 5th, we'll be able to have a better Monday morning. Reporting outside the Nicholson Center, I'm Eddie Sheehy for RMU Live.
Thanks, Eddie. The Steelers will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars this coming Sunday at 1. Coming up next on RMU celebrates Saudi National Day on campus. Our own Delaney Hassel was there to witness the cultural extravaganza.
Crisis in the Middle East continues with Obama making an unbelievable statement and how the U.S. has another enemy that's linked to Al-Qaeda.
And happy Monday, all. It may be a rough Monday for some of you, but I have a beautiful forecast coming up for you. Stay tuned on RMU TV.
Last week in the Colonial Cafe, RMU became a little more cultured. Stick around.
Welcome.
Of course, I am here with Romo. How are you doing today, Romo? Great. All right, so Romo, just a few questions. How do you think the game is going right now for the Colonials? All right, on top of that, what do you think about the play of Paul Jones and his defense just demolishing Morgan State right now? All right, well, you heard it here first. Romo with his insight to the game. Back to you guys.
Be sure to tune in to Colonial SportsCenter every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. on RMUCentralMedia.com and Channel 98 around the Moon Township area.
Romo, have you downloaded the app?
Roma, have you seen this app?
Hey, have you seen the app yet? No? All right, put it down. I'll show you what you can do. All you have to do is install it, and it'll open up for you. My favorite part of it is the police blotter. Check this out. When you click into it, you're going to go right to the top left, and as soon as you click on it, everything will be there that you need, so you can stay safe.
Download the RMU Century Media app on the App Store. Romo likes it, and so will you.
RMU students experienced a first-hand look at Saudi Arabian culture Thursday at the first annual Saudi National Day celebration hosted by the RMU Saudi Student Club. Delaney Hassel has more.
Saudi National Day was celebrated around the world on September 23rd. But here at RMU, the Saudi Student Club hosted the first annual Saudi National Day celebration in the PNC Colonial Cafe this Thursday.
It's about culture. As Americans looking to know the culture, as we are international here, we have to survive with this culture.
Throughout the cafeteria were various stations with information about the regions of Saudi Arabia, Saudi women, practices, and even an incense station that filled the air with a distinct aroma. The Saudi culture shines through the folklore dancing from each of the regions of Saudi Arabia.
We have Mizmar, which is our dancing from the west, and there are from the south and from the north and from the middle.
John Locke, Director of Student Activities and Leadership Development, helped out with the event and was thrilled that such a big event was pulled off by the students.
The dancing, the songs, the clapping from the people, the sheer joy in the room. And I looked around and I saw all these Saudi students in their full dress dancing on stage. I thought, this is my job. Like, that's really, really cool.
For a new student here, they should come. If you don't know the culture, that will be a big gap. I don't think he will be surviving here.
Club member and stand-up comedian Yasser Katoa performed at the event with his comedy act.
Some officer come to me and said, hi y'all. I said, oh sorry, my name is Yasser, not y'all. The consequences of this, to be in peace. That's what we want. Regardless of religious, of skin, we need to be in peace.
The Saudi students wanted anyone who attended to leave with a first-hand experience of what their culture is like in Saudi Arabia. From outside the PNC Colonial Cafe, I'm Delaney Hassel, RMU Century Media.
Thanks, Delaney. Be sure to look for more events hosted by the Saudi Student Club.
In an interview on CBS's 60 Minutes, President Obama spoke Sunday on the current conditions in ISIS and how the U.S. underestimated the rise of the terrorist group. CNN has more.
Mr. President. Speaking on CBS's 60 Minutes, President Obama acknowledging what the U.S. head of intelligence has said. That the government absolutely underestimated ISIS.
They were able to reconstitute themselves and take advantage of that chaos and attract foreign fighters who believed in their jihadist nonsense and traveled everywhere from Europe to the United States to Australia to other parts of the Muslim world converging on Syria.
The U.S. and Arab allies continued hitting ISIS from the air in both Syria and Iraq through the weekend. ISIS still managed an advance in Syria near the Turkish border. Yet Turkey is still not a military partner in this fight. Some European countries have joined the coalition, but won't touch Syria. The U.S. is still leading this.
That's always the case. America leads. We are the indispensable nation. We have capacity no one else has. Our military is the best in the history of the world. And when trouble comes up anywhere in the world, they don't call Beijing, they don't call Moscow, they call us. That's how we roll. And that's what makes us America.
So how do Americans feel about this? A new CNN ORC poll released just this morning shows 73% approve the airstrikes, but about the same amount feel the U.S. will likely have to send ground troops. And fewer, 61%, are confident the U.S. will succeed in its goal of degrading and destroying ISIS. There was bipartisan support for the mission, but now bipartisan concern over what the end game will look like, whether Congress should have debated and voted on the plan, whether U.S. boots will end up on that volatile ground if no one else steps up.
We have no choice. These are barbarians. They intend to kill us. And if we don't destroy them first, we're going to pay the price.
Obama made clear that the U.S. has no interest in a ground presence beyond the 1,600 American advisors and Special Operations Troop who had been previously ordered to Iraq.
New information coming out today reports that the U.S. airstrikes originally aimed for the ISIS training camp has now targeted a new al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group known as the Khorasan. The U.S. believed that the terrorist group to be in the final stages of planning major attacks against Western targets. Airstrikes were then carried out by the U.S. and were joined by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Bahrain, and the UAE against ISIS headquarters.
A decision will likely be made this week on whether prosecutors will charge a hunter who fired a shot that pierced the skull of a 6-day-old infant Thursday evening. According to Indiana County District Attorney Pat Doherty, the hunter had an agricultural deer control permit when he shot the bullet that went through the window of the infant's home near Salzburg. Currently, the child is being cared for in the intensive care unit at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh of UPMC. The hunter's name is not being released, but is cooperating with investigators.
And coming up after the break, a legend of the Diamond says his final goodbye to the game, and a heartbreaking loss could be the turnaround that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been looking for.
It's Monday, I'm tired, it's National Coffee Day, but I have high pressure in the forecast coming up.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good! good.
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the art.
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready. Let's go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to RMU Live. I'm Kristen Kudla with this week's Wrap Up in Sports. After coming off a dominating performance against the Panthers last week, the Steelers look to build off that momentum Sunday against the San Francisco Buccaneers. After starting off the game strong, the Steel City went into halftime leading 17-10. The Steelers were about to walk away with the win when a 29-yard punt by the Steelers punter, Brad Wing, would shift the momentum of the game in favor of the Buccaneers. With less than a minute left, Tampa Bay's quarterback Mike Glennon connected with wide receiver Louis Murphy for a gain of 41 yards, putting the Buccaneers within 5 yards of the end zone. With 7 seconds left to go, Glennon found the back of the end zone, putting the Buccaneers up 27-24. While the Steelers tried to rally back with a schoolyard-style play, the Tampa Bay touchdown would be the final nail in the Pittsburgh coffin. The Buccaneers had the biggest upset yet this season, defeating the Steelers 27-24. And the MLB season has concluded, and the playoffs have been set. But with that, fans of baseball must say goodbye to a great. Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees played his last game at home over the weekend, and like the great that he is, went out with a bang. The hard, dedicated icon of baseball finished his last game at Yankee Stadium with a walk-off homer to give the Yankees a 6-5 win over the Baltimore Orioles. Jeter earned the respect of many in the game of baseball, and on Sunday, even the staff at Fenway Park saluted the great, posting, quote, "With respect, numbers 2, Derek Jeter," end quote, on the outfield wall for his final game. The Pittsburgh Pirates make their debut in the playoffs in the wild card slot for the second year in a row. After having an incredible regular season, the Bucks finish it out just 2 games behind division champs St. Louis and 14 games over 500. The Pirates go into the wild card game against the San Francisco Giants. The Buccos will set sail against the Giants Wednesday at 8 p.m. and as they fight to stay alive in the postseason. And that's this week's Wrap Up in Sports. Now over to Jordan Morley with your week's forecast.
Thanks, Kristen. We have a lot of weather to talk about. First off, I have a water vapor image behind me, and what that is showing where the precipitation and the dry air is. So this color right here shows the dry air, and we have a lot of precipitation along the coast. There's actually a storm system that's being caused by a low pressure system up here. Actually, it's right back here. We can take a look at the second water image closer to home, and we can see a closer look here. A lot of blue, meaning where the precipitation is a little bit dry right now. We're actually seeing sunny skies. We're seeing clear conditions, and we can take a look at today's forecast. High pressure will take over the area, sunny skies, and let me tell you this. We have been dry for the past almost 2 weeks now. I checked the National Drought Center. Some of the areas in PA are actually under a small drought, so we're not as bad as California per se, but areas like Northeast PA are starting to see a drought, and the reason why we're so dry is because we're not going to be seeing so much precipitation in the next few weeks. What we're only going to be seeing is a precipitation in the next 2 days in my 5-day forecast. So for tomorrow, we have a chance of rain, 50%, but warm again, warm throughout the rest of the week, and Friday we'll finish out with some rain, and back to the news desk.
Thank you, Jordan, for that weather update, and Kristen with sports. And from all of us here at RMU Live,
we'll see you next time.